gives you life. This is the breath where yoga all started. So just slow down your inhale and count to 4, 5, or 6. And then exhale to that same count, 4, 5, or 6. So on the inhale, we pace the breath much slower. And then on the exhale, we find that same pace. So find a couple rounds of breath here. Make it sound like an ocean wave, just kind of rolling in and out. So as we find the rhythm here, today's intention is strength. So as you inhale, think I am, and then exhale, think strong. Inhale, I am, exhale, strong. What's the first thing that comes up for you? So maybe it's physical. I'm strong. I can lift things. I can open jars. I am the awesome person who's the strongest in the house. Or maybe it's in your mind. I'm strong of mind. I can focus on something and be present. Maybe it's in your heart. You have your strength there. The ability to like love somebody and feel good about it. Or you're just a really big giver. So where is your strength? Let's tap into that. As we inhale, we think I am. Exhale, we think strong. Let's just take a couple more rounds of breath, finding that ujjayi breath and feeling into the intention of strength. On that next exhale, go ahead and open your eyes. Bring your feet a little bit closer to where your hips are. Engage your core. And then let's bring our hands behind our head and elbows out to the side. So we kind of weave our fingers together like we're doing a crunch, because we are. Engage your core. Lift your chest. Exhale. And then lower down. Inhale. Exhale. We lift. Lower down for 9. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and come back to center. You can rock your knees side to side. Just allow that low back to relax. And then come back to center. We can lift our heels up to the sky, or we can stay exactly where we're at. So knees are bent and our shins are parallel to the mat. Engage your core, lift your chest, exhale, lower down for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and set it back down. You can rock your knees side to side, or maybe even pull your knees into your chest and let that low back get a little massage. And then come back to center. Let's bring your hands underneath your back. So maybe it's like framing your spine. So the palm of your hand is on the mat, and then the top of your hand is like connecting with your bum or your low back. We can extend both of our legs here and then reach one leg up and then hover the left, flexing your feet, and then switch and switch. And if it's easier to bend one knee as you switch, that's fine too. So you do you. Engage your core, reach, feel into this. We'll do this 5 more times for 4, and for 3, and for 2, and for 1. Go ahead and set both of your feet down. You can wiggle your knees side to side, or even bring the knees in to give that low back a little bit of a massage. And then plant your hands and bring your feet close by you, and then press into the feet, lifting up your hips, finding bridge, engage your core, and maybe roll your shoulders under a little bit, press into the hands. And then on that next exhale, lower all the way back down. You can wiggle your knees back and forth or bring your knees into your chest. We'll do this 2 more times. Engage your core. When you're ready, and come all the way back down, bring your hands back down, set yourself up for your bridge, press into the feet, lift all the way up, maybe a little bit more this time, maybe roll your shoulders under a little more, reach for your heels, or maybe your hands are just pressing into the floor, engaging your entire arm, and then go ahead and lower all the way back down. Take a deep inhale here, feel into your breath. And on this next one, you can always sit it out, or you can try to go a little bit deeper. Either way is good. So you can set your feet back up, press into the heels, begin to maybe walk your shoulders a little forward, engage your core, reach for your heels, press your hands in, engage everything, squeeze your knees together, and then exhale, go ahead and release. Lower down 1 vertebrae at a time, all the way down, and bring your knees into chest, and then just rock back and forth, finding that low back massage. And then come back to center. Let's roll over onto our bellies. We're actually finding tabletop. So here we think about our hands directly under our shoulders, and then our knees under our hips. And then let's allow the belly to drop as we inhale, lift the chest and the butt. Exhale, round the back, press into the shoulders. Inhale, we find cow. Exhale, we find cat. And just find the rhythm of your own breath here. Whatever feels good. And then come back to center. Plant your hands, tuck your toes, and then press into the toes as you lift the hips for downward facing dog. Now, if that's inaccessible, you can always do this version of down dog. Hands are pressing into the mat and your whole hand is turned on. So it's like arms are on, engaging your core and pressing into the hands, relaxing your neck. Both are good options. Whatever option for down dog, go with it. On that next exhale, begin to walk your feet into your hands. And take your feet as wide as your mat. Bend your knees, allow your belly to hang between your thighs. Relax your neck and find a forward fold. So maybe grabbing opposite elbows. You can rock side to side here, feeling into the stretch. And then come back to center. Slowly roll all the way back up, chin to chest. Come back to standing or come up to standing. And then shake it out. Let it all go. And then inhale, we circle the arms all the way up. Press palms together and come to center. Let's do some neck stretches here. We will be kind of working with shoulders a lot today. So hands can come out to the side, finding mountain. Take our right ear to right shoulder, find that neck stretch standing. So think about shoulders down and back. You can even take your right hand to your head, and then the left hand can come behind if you want a deeper stretch. On that next exhale, go ahead and release, come back to center. And then on that next exhale, left ear comes to left shoulder, finding neck stretch on the other side. You could bring your left hand to your head, just a gentle touch. Right hand can come to the base of the spine, the top of the hand meets the base of the spine to find a depth of the stretch. I prefer to just have my hand out just because my shoulder doesn't like it. It like pinches, but it's an option. You might like it. I don't. And that's the beauty of yoga. We can do whatever we want to a point. And then come back to center. And then let's just take a couple of neck circles. So going slow here so we don't get dizzy since we're standing. Just go and lift up your chin as we inhale and then exhale. Chin comes down and around. And then come back to center and go the opposite direction, finding some counter stretching here. And then shake it out. Now, let's take our hands out to the side and find a stretch here along the chest, opening up the chest. The tops of the hands are reaching back towards one another. Just finding maybe like a little bend in your knee, engage your core slightly, just so you have proper spinal alignment. And then take your hands out to the side. Take your fingers so that they're pointing down and feel the stretch along the top of your forearm here. And then take all your fingers up like you are pressing against a wall, and you're getting a nice stretch on the bottom of your forearm here. And then take your hands out to the side and lift and lower, finding just a little bit of a stretch in all the little places in your shoulders. Maybe even take your hands back a little bit while you do this. And then wrap your arms around yourself. And you could even kind of roll forward a little bit with this. Feel into your back body, your shoulder. Inhale, open one more time. Exhale, we do the opposite side. And then rolling it forward like this. And then go ahead and release everything here. Now, go ahead, since we're standing, find a doorway or something like that. Let's just stretch out the shoulders a little bit before we get into vinyasas. Take your hand at a 90-degree angle. Walk up to a doorway or a wall and press into it. You can plant your right foot since it's on the right side, and then the left foot can kind of step forward a little, and you can find this little twist to the stretch. It's not like 100% have to do it this way, but you can try. You could also just be standing here like this. As long as you're feeling a deep stretch along your shoulders, that's the goal here. We're stretching the shoulders because we're trying to make it so that we can be open for eagle. Mighty eagle. And go ahead and release, shake out that side, and then set yourself up for the other side. So if you need to flip yourself around, you can just do it this way. Or you can just, if you're in a door frame, you can just do the other side. So whatever version you want to do, plant your left foot down and then take your right foot forward and then find this version of the stretch. Take some deep breaths here. Feel into your stretch. Maybe even go back into that intention. I am strong. I am strong. And then on that next exhale, come back to center, shake out all the arm vibes, and let's come back to the top of our mats. If you need a block, grab your blocks. If not, then that's fine too. So both are good options. Plant your feet onto the top of the mats. Circle the arms all the way up. Press your palms together, and exhale, we fold all the way back down. Inhale, we rise and find our half lift. Stick your booty back, lifting your chest, engaging your core. Relax your neck here. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we circle arms all the way back up, press palms together. Exhale, we come back to center. Let's do that 2 more times just to kind of get into that half lift. Inhale, we circle arms all the way, press palms together. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise and find half lift. So it's almost like my belly doesn't move, it's just my chest, and then my booty is like sticking out, so my chest is parallel to the floor. And then exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise, circle arms all the way up to the top. Press palms together, we go right back into it. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise and find half lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, circle arms all the way up to the top, press palms together. Exhale, come back to center. Shake it out. Take a sip of water if you need, and we'll get into a couple vinyasas here. So, once you're ready, come to the top of your mat, and let's circle the arms all the way up. Press our palms together. Exhale, we fold all the way back down. Inhale, we rise and find our half lift. Exhale, we plant our hands on the mat or the block, full palm, step our feet back, find our plank, lower down your knees, and lower down a chaturanga an inch and push back up. And then lower down all the way and allow your belly to be here. And then push up, finding this little bend like this baby cobra, like you're not really pushing into the hands, you're mostly just bending your back up. And then bend your knees and push yourself all the way back up to plank. So there's your options. You can lower down and push yourself up. And then you can just allow your hips to come forward and find this version of upward facing dog. And then come back to plank, or you can lower all the way down and then find that baby cobra. And then push yourself all the way back up to a push-up. So both options are good, whatever you'd like to do. And then we shift our hips back, press into the toes, spread our hands, and then lift our hips, finding downward facing dog. We might even stay with knees down. If your knees are down, that's good. If your knees are up, that's good too. I have like a hair on my mat that's just like migrating, and I'm blowing it and it's just staying like right there. Get off my mat. Okay, take a deep breath. Ignore all the hairs in the room. Begin to walk your feet into your hands. Find a halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise, circle arms all the way up to the top. Press palms together. Come back to center. Take a deep breath here. Shake it out. Get a sip of water if you need. And then we'll go into a few more rounds of sun A's. So the first version is a half sun. This version is sun A. So cycling through a full sun salutation. So let's just take a sip of water, take a couple of deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and find the top of your mat. And then let's just meet in mountain for a breath. So when you're ready, bend your knees, find that standing posture. And then inhale, we circle arms all the way up, press palms together. Exhale, we fold all the way back down. Inhale, we rise and find our half lift. Exhale, we plant our entire hand onto the mat, bending the knees and stepping our feet to the back. Finding our plank. We find the chaturanga version we like. Lower down an inch or all the way. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog, just pushing the hips forward. Bend the knees, shift the hips back. Press into the hands and lift the hips or keep the knees down, finding your downward facing dog. Relax your shoulders, relax your head. Bend your knees and push into the hands, finding that little hinge in your hips if you're up. Take a deep breath here. Begin to walk your feet into your hands, finding your halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise, circle arms all the way up to the top. Press palms together, and let's go back into it. Exhale, we fold all the way back down. Inhale, we rise and find half lift. Exhale, we plant our hands, step our feet to the back. We find our plank. Engage your core here. Set knees down if you'd like. And then lower down for chaturanga. Inhale, we find our upward facing dog or baby cobra. Bend your knees, shift your hips back, and find your downward facing dog. Maybe knees stay down. So feel within your dog. Press into the hands if your knees are down. Feel everything working here. Engage your core. On that next exhale, we lift the knees, press into the toes, and find our downward facing dog if we'd like. And then walk our hands, our feet into our hands. Find our halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. And inhale, we rise, circle arms all the way up to the top. Press palms together and exhale. Come back to center. Take a deep inhale here. Shake out whatever you need. Tap into that intention. I am strong. So here, let's bring our hands to our heart center and sit back into the heels and find chair. So engage your core, sit back, your knees are bent, and notice if your weight is in the toes or the heels. So try to turn on the toes. Turn them on. Just make contact with the mat. Lift the chest. Maybe hands are at heart center or you want them down by your side, like you're skiing. You got to make the noise though. And then maybe you want to cheer. So your hands come up above like, woohoo, go Warriors, say your favorite team. Both are good options. Or you keep your hands here like, how much longer is this? It's a while longer. So sit down, sit back. Engage your core here. We lift the right heel while keeping our booty in the same place. Lower it down. We lift the left heel and then lower it down. Lift both heels. What? Lower them down and then find a forward fold. Take a deep breath here. Feel into your fold. Maybe we bend our knees and allow the belly to hang. And then roll all the way back up slowly. And then we sit back into our chair because we love it so much. Feel into the strength. I am strong. I am strong. Lift up the right heel. Lower it down. Lift up the left heel and lower it down. Lift up both heels. What's happening? Keep them up. Keep them up. Keep them up. Now here's the challenge. Keep them up and straighten your legs. What? What? Maybe you raise your arms up. Keep them up. Keep them up. And then lower them down and then lift them up again. Try to keep them up. Keep up the heels. And then exhale, lower down, and let's hinge and find a forward fold. That feels so good, doesn't it? On that next exhale, we round the back, come all the way up to standing, and shake it out. Okay, so if you have a block, grab your block. We'll go through eagle. We'll go through some variations here. And if you don't, totally fine too. So if you have a block, let's see. We'll start off with the right leg. So bring your block right to the outside of your right leg. But like I said, you don't have to. You don't have to use a block. You can do eagle at lots of different places. So let's just begin with the feet. So your right foot will be the first leg that we'll work with. So imagine all your weight shifting to the right. So that's the first step. And then the second step is to lift up the heel. So bring your hands to your hips. This might be your eagle right here. And that's okay. You're still focused, you're still balanced. And balancing. And then the next step would be to lift the foot up, finding a standing march. So your leg is at a 90-degree angle and it's lifted. Engage your core, find a spot on the wall to stare at. You're balancing here. And then the next step would be to cross over, finding a cross, and then to set the toe onto the block. If you don't have a block, it's not a big deal. You just are working harder. Both are good options here. And if you want to stay with the heel lifted or the standing march, totally fine too. So this is the third option, the toe to the block. And then let's go ahead and move the block out of the way, come back to standing, and let's try to find that next level, which is no block Our foot is planted and we cross over again. This time we have one leg. So one leg, everything is squeezing together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. It's one leg and we're squeezing. And then if we're here and we're squeezing, we're focused on something, we start to bend our knee, our right knee, and we start to sit in our chair. Sitting in our chair. We got this. Feel it, and then we straighten the leg and shake out the left and then shake out the right because that was a lot. Woo! That's just the first little stage there. So grab your block if you were using it, set yourself up for other side so you kind of know where we're going here now. Plant that left foot down and then start off with just the heel lifted on the right side. The heel is lifted. We're feeling strong, so we lift up the full foot and find standing march. We try to cross over, tapping the toe to the block. This can be above or below the knee. It doesn't have to be any particular place. This is just wherever your foot is landing. Because like I'm 5'9", so it's below my knee, but somebody with a block who's like 5'5" might be above the knee with the block. So my height kind of like dictates where my shin will go. And then you can go ahead and come off the block, and then let's do without the block. So we plant that left foot, and then we find those levels that we were just at, crossing over, and then imagining both as one. So we're squeezing together. We're not falling like I just did. Engaging our core, lifting our chest, squeezing our legs together. We're finding a spot to focus on. Hands are to hips. Everything is working. And then we begin to bend our left knee, sitting back into our chair. And then we go ahead and sit up, extend out the right leg, and shake off the left. Woo! That's just legs. All right, so we got our leg version. Which one did you like? Pick one. And have that in your mind for when we do full eagle. So our next option will be to do arms. So eagle arms. So first option for eagle arms would be this. You literally just wrap your forearm in the front and wrap it in the back. So this is eagle arms. You're still getting a stretch in your shoulders, and you can do both ways. So this is always an option. If you have any type of like stress about having things in your face, this is always here for you. So this is just a gentle eagle arm, which is amazing. Next option would be to wrap your arms around yourself, finding this version of eagle arms where we're trying to grip as close to the back as we can. So we could even kind of round our shoulders here to try to stretch a little bit more, but essentially we want our elbows to line up here to try and do full eagle. And if we're not there, it's okay. So this would be one option. Make sure you do the other as well if you did one. So it's if it was right on top of left, left on top of right for second side. You can find that same stretch. Then go ahead and release, shake that off. Next option would be forearms come together in an L shape. So forearms touching, and let's just do some lifts and lowers, because they're so much fun, lifting and lowering. So this would be one option as well. And then go ahead and release, shake it off. So final eagle option would be the love yourself arms with the forearm touch. So I know that sounds weird, right? So we wrap our arms around each other and then our forearms touch essentially. And like my forearms don't like touch right away. I have to kind of grip them to touch, but this is how my eagle arms are. Yeah, exactly, Allison. So it's like finding the grip in my hands is important, because if I'm just like this is how my arms look if I don't grip. But if I grab my hand, I can kind of get them to where they'll be eagle arms. Your eagle arms has your elbow in line with your shoulder. So keep that in mind when we're flowing through, and this kind of brings your shoulders forward even more. So go ahead and release, let it go. Let's do other side if you went for it. So wrapping your arms around and then your forearms coming together as best as you can. There's no like right or wrong way here. We just do the best we can and we try not to hurt ourselves. That's the main goal. Safety first, and then go ahead and release. Shake it off. So lots of options here. So let's pick a couple. You can always just kind of work your way up, but I would say let's pick a version of eagle arms. You can try some, like, okay, I'm gonna start here. But if you're standing on one leg, it's kind of hard to transition from here to here. So just keep that in mind. Like, pick a set of arms that you like. Let's just pick our arms. And then add your legs after. So if you're using a block, set it up on the right side. We'll begin on the right leg. So pick your set of arms, whatever that might look like. I'm gonna just do this version just because it feels good to me right now. We'll plant our right foot down, lift the heel. This might be where you're at. This might be your eagle. Engage your core, squeeze your thighs together. Everything feels good. Begin to lift your heel up on the left if you'd like to go for standing march. And maybe you cross over. Your foot comes to your block. Engage your core here. Squeeze your thighs together. Everything is working hard. Maybe your toes come off the block. Maybe you're just standing, and then maybe your knee starts to bend and you find the full eagle leg version. Pick a spot, focus. And then on that next exhale, we go ahead and release. Shake it out. Do a little hop, take a sip of water. Get yourself set up on the other side, whatever that might look like. So I don't know why it makes me feel good, but I like to look at my toes touching the mat. It makes me feel like I'm rooted in that side of the leg. And then I like to feel the buoyancy a little bit. And then I come over and it's like, this leg is strong, it's ready to go. And then let's find our arms. So if I did this, I'm doing this time. I'm engaging my core, I'm lifting my heel, so beginning my eagle, and then finding my standing march. And maybe I cross over and find the block. And then I begin to squeeze my thighs, my butt, everything is together. I'm trying to make my legs one leg. Maybe my toes lift up off the block and become one leg. And maybe I try to sit down, bending my left knee, and just focus on a spot that doesn't move. Focus on somewhere right in front of you on the horizon line that doesn't move. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release. Shake it out. Good job. All right, that was so much fun. Let's do it again. Bring the block to the other side. 2 times. It's always a 2-timer. Always a 2-timer. That sounds like a floozy. Anyways, whatever amount of times you want to do it, go for it. That's what she said. Okay, so pick your version of eagle arms. You can cross over like this and just find if that's the one you want to go with. If you want to go full eagle arms, it'd look like this. So listen to your body. You might be in full eagle and go, oh, I don't like it. I'm going back to this. That's totally fine. Just try to do it with both feet on the ground if you transition. So lift your toes, look at them, set them down. You don't have to look at them, but I like to. And then lift up my heel and then slowly progress to my standing march. I'm crossing over, engaging my core, lifting my chest, and maybe my legs become one. Squeezing everything together here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Find that spot on the wall that's not moving, and then begin to lower down with the right leg. You got this. Bend your knee. Bend it. If you're falling out of it, that means you're working hard. So cool. You're doing a great job. I love you so much, Allison. And then go ahead and straighten, shake it out. Whew. just remember that everybody's practice looks different on different days. I was like practicing this over the weekend, and I was falling all over the place. So everybody's practice looks different on different days. It doesn't matter. The fact is that we're trying and we're moving our bodies, and it's to feel good. All right, other side. We look at our toes, we lift and lower, plant that left foot down, and then choose our arms, whatever version we'd like. I'm going with this one again. Lift my heel up, engage my core, and then begin to lift my right leg up, finding my standing march, and then cross over. Maybe my toes make contact with the block, and then my legs become one. Engage, engage, engage everything, and then maybe we toss the block to the side, and we focus on something, and then begin to bend our knees as we shift back, lowering down into our chair, and just breathe here. And you don't have to go all the way. You can go whatever level feels good. And when you're ready, you can come out of it. Shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. All right, let's do another vinyasa, another sun A, because they're so much fun. Bring your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, we circle the arms all the way up. Press our palms together. Exhale, we fold all the way back down. Inhale, we rise and find our half lift. Exhale, we plant our hands, step our feet to the back. We find our plank, lower down knees if we'd like. Find a chaturanga. Inhale, we upward facing dog. Exhale, child's pose or downward facing dog. Whatever feels good here. And then on that next exhale, we begin to walk our feet into our hands. Find our halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise, circle arms all the way up to the top. Press palms together. Come back to center. Shake it out. And then let's find a seated pose. So whatever that looks like to you. Maybe it's on the mat. Maybe it's on a blanket. I recommend on something lifting your hips. So find your seated pose. Remove the fleshy bits. And let's extend our legs out in front of us. Not super wide, not super narrow, just someplace comfortable. Flex our feet, lift our chest. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, we lead with the chest. Hands come down, but maybe our chest is just kind of hinging forward. We're just trying to stretch out our hips here. So that's the goal, is to stretch the hips. The goal is to stretch the hips, not to get the nose down. So as we inhale, we think I am, and then exhale, we think strong. We just did that. We just did that eagle because we're strong. We're mighty eagles. If you guys have ever watched Angry Birds, and you know, like, Mighty Eagle is like the weakest character of the whole movie. He's afraid of everything. But I feel like if you were to say Mighty Eagle, you would be a strong character. So let's just turn it on its head and be strong. On that next exhale, we push our chest all the way back up, come back to seated. Extend our right leg, left leg comes in, finding seated tree. So maybe the sole of the foot comes to the calf or the thigh. Find a little semi-turn to the right. And then come back to center. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, we hinge forward. Hands reaching towards the toes, the ankles, the shins, feeling into the stretch. On that next exhale, we come all the way back up and switch sides. So left leg extends, right leg comes in. We find that little quarter turn to the left, flex our foot. Inhale, both arms come up, and exhale, we hinge. We reach for our toes and we land wherever we land, maybe shins or ankles, or maybe to the floor. And just tap into the breath, If we lost it, finding that mighty eagle vibe, that strong vibe. And then on that next exhale, we come all the way back up and bring both feet in, finding butterfly or Baddha Konasana. And we can grab our ankles with our hands, elbows go into knees, and then we hinge forward, leading with the chest. So finding the stretch in our hips and hopefully just kind of opening them up a little bit, especially after all of that squeezing together. This should feel good. And all the chairs. We did a lot of chairs today. I mean, I was sweating. So, yeah. Sometimes I like to just do like a flow with like lots of postures. And sometimes I like to do peak pose where it's like one posture and we just kind of like isolate it. So, you know, it's fun to like do different versions of the yoga and then cycle through some sun A's while we do it. And then go ahead and push yourself all the way up and then extend our legs out to the sides. We flex our feet. I like to just find like a little bit of a turn to our chest, and my hips will even pop because that's just what they do. They pop, not in a like a bad way, like a painful way, but in like, oh, there you go. Now I can actually fold. Like they have to get into their place to be able to fold forward. And then I bring my hands forward and I flex my feet and I begin to walk my hands down. But I know like on one of my sides, I have an injury from like when I was like 20, which is like 16 years ago. And I just have a ton of scar tissue like on that side. And so it just takes me that much longer to kind of open up my right hip versus my left hip. I'm like, that's how your body is. It like remembers thing and trauma. It holds on to it. So my hips take even longer to open up. So if that's the case for you too, and one of your hips, that might be the thing. It's just, you just need extra time, which is okay. So just take some deep breaths in this forward fold. Maybe you slowly begin to bend your elbows. You feel within the stretch. Just allow yourself to just kind of sink in here. And let those hips be open. The goal here is to open the hips, feel into all those places where maybe we just never stretch unless we do yoga. And sometimes that's the case. So taking the time right now to just focus here and breathe intentionally, finding that ujjayi breath, maybe even closing our eyes and bringing that focus right to where we're stretching. Lifting up the chest and lowering so your shoulders away from ears and feeling into it. On that next exhale, we push ourselves all the way back up, and then we slowly bring our heels together. Shake out our knees here, and then let's find our backs. So go ahead and come off of whatever you're sitting on if you are sitting on something, and bring our back to the mat and bend our knees and just shift our knees to the left, to the right, feeling into that stretch. And then maybe you just hang out on one side because it feels good. Take a deep breath here. And then go over to the other side. And then let's find our Shavasana. So maybe it's legs extended and arms to your side, traditional Shavasana. Maybe it feels good to have knees bent or even reclined butterfly. If you want like a pillow for your head or underneath your calves, go ahead and do that. Maybe you want a blanket on top of you because you get cold. So whatever your Shavasana looks like, find it. Find that rock star Shavasana that feels like you could do anything. Like this feels amazing. I need this in my life. And then take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Let your body sink here. Deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Feel everything just kind of falling away. And then, if you haven't already, close your eyes and relax your jaw, relax your fingers, relax your ears. And then just begin to clear your mind. So if things are coming up for you, something you're doing right after this, oh, I got this to do right after, so I got to finish this. Try to let that go and be present here in the now. Just put it right behind your yoga door. You'll get to it when you get to it, and it'll be right after this. We're almost done. This is the most important piece of the practice, is to find your Shavasana. If you need to focus, you've cleared your mind, you can think of a color. And as you inhale, it lightens. And as you exhale, it darkens. Let's spend the next few minutes in silence for your Shavasana. Tap back into the breath. Take a deep inhale and an exhale. Wiggle fingers and toes. Circle out wrists and ankles. Take both hands overhead for a full body stretch. Let it feel sweet. Roll onto one side and begin to push yourself up and find a comfortable seated position. When you're ready, you can bring your hands to your heart center, close your eyes or have a soft gaze, and tuck your chin. And thank yourself for showing up today and for working so hard and for trying all the things. Awesome, awesome job. Bring your thumbs to your third eye. The divine light inside of me honors the divine light inside of each and every one of you. Namaste. Awesome, awesome job. Thank you so much for practicing with me and laughing through that whole thing. That was awesome. Love you guys so much. Hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.